Okay, so first of all, like we are at the very end, like last day, correct? So what I'm thinking first, we will discuss about like the last topic, okay, like CI/CD one. Okay. Then we will jump about like your task, your query, each and everything. Okay. So till now, you guys already learned all those topics. Okay, like a quick remember, like basic DOM and OOPS. First we discussed. Then Cypress versus Selenium. Why Cypress is fast? That thing we saw. Installation, folder structure. Then the how like document title, view code we access. Then file upload. Testing Shadow DOM. Remember, like we are clicking on button and like automatically another section is opening that we are calling Shadow DOM.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
we will paste that one we saw. Then we saw like Mocha or some reporting, correct? Then over here we saw about like the precedence, like the config file, like multiple config file, like your by default Cypress station. Then how you can include at the level of your, uh, when you are writing your description or late. So how things are actually changing. Those part, pagination, you guys already mentioned like in that GitHub that code is missing. Yes, today I will need to upload. Okay, so that file is actually somehow deleted from my machine already. So I print for you. So again, I will upload over there. Data driven test like the file and fixture from your Excel, CSV or from JSON, how you are going to do that. Form implementation that we already saw, like how we completed like page object model, like the class creation, then those extend those classes in your set. BGD framework that we saw, like how we can create those feature class. Last day we saw about XHR fetch, then that CY API, that extra plugins, that one also. Then how we can upload like the request chain, basic authentication, those part through that API. Client side performance testing we actually saw via Google Lighthouse, and how you can implement through Cypress as well, that one. Artillery versus JMeter, that part also we saw, like how artillery is much more faster than JMeter, and you can do parallel testing as well. Now artillery installation, execution, load testing, that we already saw. So last and the most thing is CI/CD. Now, do you guys have any idea on CI/CD?
No.
No idea, correct? Okay.
So your voice is coming very low. I don't know. I'm listening to this.
Uh,
Can't hear you, sir.
Shogata, Vishaka, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can also hear you, but I don't know why your sound is coming very slow.
Let's see. Let's see. I don't know why it's not coming. So let's see. Let me stop my sharing once. Okay. So then I'm checking once.
CI/CD is related to serverless architecture, right? Both.
CI means code igniter.
No, no. You guys can see my screen, correct?
Yes.
So it's showing like a white board right now.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So just think like example. Suppose this is the developer. Okay. So this is who? This is the developer. So developer, how they are actually working, like they are doing their coding in VS, means in Visual Studio Code, correct? Every developer they are doing. Now, once that code is created, okay, partially, they are uploading their code. Suppose just think this is the GitHub. Okay, so over here they have some repo, and in that repo is there is some branches there. So repo means repository, branch particular branch. Okay, so what they are doing, through VS directly, they are actually uploading their code in that particular branch. Okay, so here it can be like 1 to n. Okay, n number of branch they can create. So they can suppose they are actually including their code like branch 1, 2, or n, any number of branch they can upload. Okay, now another developer, when they are coding, suppose this is developer 2, this is developer 1. So when this person is coding from VS, Visual Studio Code, so here they are basically what they are doing, they are push or commit, correct? And here from the updated branch, just think like here I is basically one branch that is updated one. So they are pulling the code. So up to this, you all know there is no issue, correct? Now think, so this is the part, okay, where basically you can say our like developer are working. Now developer are two kind of developer. One is basically who is creating Munstack, okay, like in our company only, like MongoDB, Express, React, Node, they are using, or automation QA, that is you guys, correct? You guys can also you guys are also developer. If this is the Munstack developer or Minstack developer, you are the basically the developer too. You are also building your code through VS and basically pushing from your end also. And if required, they also can pull that code, correct? Or you can also pull their code and you can also push their code, like your code, like .spec.js files that you can push, right? So up to this, we can maintain. Now think about when it's time actually came from like this GitHub, from this GitHub. So let me change the color. From this GitHub, suppose you have to deploy. Suppose there is two server. Just think this is the one server, this is another server. Okay. So this is like a state server, this is like a production server. Okay. Now, who will deploy this updated code I from here to here? Then again, you have to test the code after deployment, correct? Test code. Once this code is positive, just think positive means successful, then someone who can actually push this code to production server, correct? If your test code is not positive, means negative, means something is not happening properly, then again it should return back to here. It should not go over here this way. It should go over here this way again, correct? So that's
But
mean,
that test code which we have downloaded from prod, we are testing, and if we get negative, then again we can push it to stage.
yeah, means when some developer is pushing their code in the state server, then you guys are testing, correct? QA is testing. Now if everything is okay, then you are saying to this developer, like say everything is working, now you can push to production server, correct?
Yes.
Or else you are saying, means this guy is saying to developer one, no, your code is not working, it's failed at the time of automation testing. So basically you need to check your code again. So they are again checking their code, doing upload over here, they are pushing to state server, again they are asking to you to check, correct? Now think, if I want to automate the full process, means do you guys even saw like how, you know, cloud provider look like, how server look like? What are those things are there? If I'm okay, here we will actually assume AWS. Okay, why AWS? Because at AWS is basically a cloud provider, and it's already like stakeholder of like 60% of global weight. Okay, so this is very famous. Apart from that, we have GCP, that is Google, and we have Azure, that is Microsoft. This is Microsoft one, this is Google one, and this is Amazon one.
Yes.
Correct? So we are focusing on this Amazon one. Now, just think, someone needs who will push the code. That's okay. That our developer only pushing. Now from the GitHub, someone we need one person who will deploy to the state server. Once here your code, then someone need who can test the code. Then that person will say like it's negative or positive. Based on that, we need someone who will push the code in the production server, same code. Then maybe again we have to test the code in the production server. Correct? So it's basically like a cumbersome task. If you think this is like a very much cumbersome task because you need multiple steps. So if I change the color again, just think, this is one process where you are coding, then you are pushing to the GitHub. From the GitHub is basically coming towards the state server. Then here QA is testing, then it's forwarding to the server. Here again the deployment happening, then again test case is happening. Either from here, like this one is my 8 number, and this is my also 8 number, because from here to here, again the code can return if that is negative, means test is fail. Correct? So
If positive, then prod. If negative, then stage.
correct. So now
Post,
just
is
yeah,
it the DevOps thing? This is.
yes, this is the DevOps. Now I'm saying why. Just think, I split it two parts, correct? Here, this is one part. Here, this is another part.
Yeah.
Here, whatever the thing is happening, this is called dev, because this is all the development. Here, whatever the thing is happening in server, that is called ops. So altogether, it called DevOps.
Sir, thing is happening in server. If you didn't understand what.
Okay, let me write. Development plus operation.
Yeah, this is DevOps.
Operation, yeah.
That is DevOps. Okay, because whatever the server part is here, that is called operational part, because we need to operate, correct?
Right.
Which are the operations are done in server?
Which are the operation done in the server?
Now,
Like you are creating the state server, production server, you are deploying the code,
okay,
then
okay. This all okay.
all those things. In a AWS, whatever the things you are doing, that is the operational part.
Build one, like we build the code, then again test.
Correct.
I have a question. In the previous picture, when the production got failed, then it also come to 8th stage, right? Test code in 8th stage, right? But
Correct.
here there is no like here they don't do anything. Like we have to again go that branch first.
No, means your test if fail, obviously you are letting whom? You are letting to basically developer only.
Yes.
See, I is this thing, but these
Yes.
things are actually failed in the state server or production server.
Yes. I'm saying about production server. Like from state server, it is going to production, no? So after production server got sometimes failed, then it goes to again the repo representative branch or repo branch or something.
No, if from the production, if it's fail, okay, it will going back to obviously in this GitHub, okay, it's notified, as well as your code is basically deleted from the production, because that's a wrong code, correct? You can't push that code in your production
Yes.
until unless everything is perfect in the stage.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now think, so that's mean what is happening? This 8-number stage is basically treating as a notification.
Yes.
Correct? You are notifying something is wrong. So if I delete now this whole drawing, just think what is happening. My development is happening, then it's pushed to some Git, then from there, okay. Let me remove this once. So development, then QA in local, we are testing, then pushing to Git. Okay. Now from Git, we are pushing to state server. Then again, QA task is happening. Then after that, we are doing shifting to prod. Then again, QA parts is happening. Okay. Now from here, it can move to here. From here, it can move to here. Correct? Now, this part is basically called versioning control. Correct? Because in GitHub, we are maintaining the version of code each and every time. So this is called versioning control. So this is your basically stage server. This is your production server,
Production server.
and this is your local. And here to here, when everything is shifting automatically. So suppose you are this person who want to know from development to QA, whenever anything shift to Git, like from here to here, anything is shifted. So you need a notification, correct? From Git to stage, if anything is shifting, you need a notification. From here to here, if anything is shifting, you need a notification. So these all are notification because you created this automated flow here to here, correct? So you are the person who is very happy because you created the full automation. You no need a single manual guy who can actually do this stuff for you and notify you, say this is happening. You not require that because you are the basically DevOps guy or CI/CD guy. Correct? You will spend only time, whatever the time is required, you will spend. Once this flow is set up, then you will just see, because developer will automatically push the code to Git. Whenever Git is actually accept any new changes, it will automatically shifted those code in the server. In server, automatically it will deploy and testing will going to happen. And if everything is fine, then automatically it's shifting to production server. If any time fail, it will return back. If any time fail, it will return back. And you got the notification. No matter like success, fail, any kind of notification you will got. So this whole automation is called DevOps or CI/CD. So why CI/CD? DevOps full form you already know in the last slide only. So CI stand for I don't know what spelling I am writing. Continuous integration. This C for again continuous. This D means deployment. This is continuous integration, that is CI. It is continuous deployment, that is CD. Now, can you tell me what is continuous integration, continuous deployment in this flow?
Sir, continuous integration, I think the like this is a thing like from local server to if like some change like changes in code, then like it's successful again, it is uploaded in Git, then it's come to the stage, then if any kind of like the QA test and again any kind of code issues or like test issues it finds and again get back to stage. So that is the thing. This integration, I mean, the spec file gets changed.
This part is called CI, continuous integration. This part is called CD, the deployment, because continuous integration where you are integrating your code to your grid
Okay.
branch, correct? Then you are deploying. When the deployment is happening, that is called CD, continuous deployment. Now just think, you don't need to rely on any single person if you are creating this automation. As many times you will push your code to a particular branch. Again, I'm saying to a particular branch, not in all branch. You can have like 1 to n branch, correct? But maybe one branch I that is actually configured with this server. If something changes is happening in this particular branch, then only the deployment will going to happen. Otherwise, it will not going to happen. Clear? So this is basically DevOps and CI/CD. Now, question is then how you guys will going to maintain this one. So let me
So this is CI/CD workshop or course? I mean, you will let teach us. This is CI/CD workshop or code in detail. I mean, this must be a huge detailed code.
after today's session, you can actually implement that for sure. So basically, see, this is, they are also mentioning the same part, correct? Wait a minute, why I can't draw anything over here? One second. You can see my screen, correct? Now,
Yes, we can.
see, they are also saying the same thing. Continuous integration, continuous delivery. What are those part are there? Just see, software release workflow, that is my code pipeline. Build and test code, their service name is code build. Deployment and automation, that is code deploy. Unified CI/CD project, that is code start. So we are not going to see this one, not required. So we will see how this code pipeline actually work, how your code will going to build and how your code will going to deploy. Okay. So the same part, same thing what we actually discussed. So for that, for your practice, what do you need? You need to create a AWS account. Okay, don't worry. So like you can say very, you have to use your credit card, you have to give your credit card number. But until unless you are doing anything, if you are practicing and again deleting properly, so there will be zero cost. Okay. If you are doing anything wrong, then only the cost will come. Otherwise, the cost is very zero, totally zero. So it
I
will not
don't
going
have any credit card.
I also don't have any credit card.
What do you mean by anything wrong, boss?
anything wrong means suppose if you created this GitHub to over there some link that you never actually deleted after your practice, and
Okay.
anytime whenever you are pushing any code, it's
Yeah.
automatically in this workflow again and again and again several times.
Okay.
So at that point of time it will place some cost, but just practice then delete everything, there will be no cost.
Okay.
So what you need to do, I'm just showing. So Okay, let me clear this drawing.
Credit card is mandatory. We don't have.
Yes, without credit card, AWS actually not allowed to create any account. So I
Ask
can't do it.
ask for your parents. It's fine.
The AWS like have not made anything for Gorib like us.
Ask for from parents.
Okay, just see, like I created one account of mine in the Mumbai region. So this is basically the region, whatever the region I have. So I'm staying in India, so I'm created in Mumbai. So this is my account. So over here, if you just search from here, like code pipeline, okay. So you will get that code pipeline like this way. Once it's open, you see by default this pipeline is open, correct? Apart from that, you can see source, artifacts, build, deploy, settings, all those things are there. Now, whatever the things we previously draw, is it not look like a pipeline, like developer, QA, Git? This is a
Yes.
pipeline.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay? So saying like that's a pipeline one. Okay.
Okay.
Now, how you need to do create that? First, I need to go to source. Okay. Okay, leave that part. First, go to settings, create a connection, because you need a connection with the GitHub, correct? Otherwise, you can't do that. I will not going to create anything, okay? But I'm just showing. Have you heard that name, Bitbucket?
Yes,
So,
I heard, but I
I
forgot.
have also heard. Just like GitHub.
yeah, Bitbucket is also look like a GitHub only, like a versioning control. First, we mentioned we need to set up a versioning control. So if I'm clicking version GitHub, okay, it's asking me, suppose I'm giving like default example, okay, connection name. So once I click on connect to GitHub, you already have, correct? Anyone have GitHub account?
No, I don't have.
Yes, we have
We
GitHub.
created, yeah, like yes,
Like where we upload the code. So I mean we must have GitHub
for
account.
the official purpose.
Yeah, but don't access the official one from your this setup. Okay, what you need to do, you need to create your own GitHub account. Like from where I am sharing my code. Obviously, that's my personal one, correct? So like that way, you have to create your own, and from there you have to share or create this flow.
Like from our personal email ID, right?
Yes, absolutely, personal email ID. Then what you need to do, click on this, install a new app. So I'm not showing this one, okay, right now, because this is a step where it will connect to that GitHub account. So I'm leaving for that step for the time being. But
So
once you just connect it,
how will we practice?
nothing, you will just create a AWS account. No.
So we don't have credit card.
It's okay, you can apply. You can
Sir,
apply.
I am very Gorib.
That's why credit card is required for this Gorib person. Okay, so the step. Okay, let me tell you. Like once you clicked on this link, okay, it will ask you for this GitHub, authentication. Okay, like you saw that screen. Once that is done, it will ask you which repo you want to choose. So you choose one repo. Now in a single repo, as I already told you, you have 1 to like up to n branch, correct? Any branch. Like I created, you remember I created and sent it to you like day 1, day 2, like this way branch.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
those are the branch. So now I'm saying, suppose I have one day 4 branch. Okay. So I am actually want to connect this branch. Okay. So once I actually choose this one, like this repo and this branch, so then it will ask me for click on submit. So once I submit it, so one link or connection, not link, one connection link actually created. Okay. So once this connection link is created, then what will happen? So then it will look like this way. You can see I have two connection. Correct? It will show like this way only, like two connection. So once this connection is set, then what is the next step? Next step is go to here. Go to directly to this build, or you can create your artifacts as well, that we will see later, no issue. Okay, let's go to artifacts first. So once
What
I
is
create
artifact, boss? What is artifact actually?
telling. Okay,
Artifact ID I got like while doing the Selenium. Then while creating the project, we had to give that artifact ID.
correct, absolutely. Leave that artifacts. Artifacts is not required. That's not important so much. So go to directly to build project. So here, suppose you are giving like a test CI CD example. Okay. Then your source provider, not obviously we are not using. Okay, wait. We are not using AWS code commit. Okay, so this is another service that AWS giving, but we are not using that one. Okay, instead of that, we are using basically GitHub. So like this way, you already saw Bitbucket. So what bucket? Okay,
Code
sorry.
commit, I mean code we have to commit in GitHub also. And this is not the same. And code commit.
This is AWS provided versioning control, this code commit. Okay. So we are
Okay.
not using this one. We are not using Bitbucket
Yeah.
also.
You're using
Another third party, we are not using that Bitbucket. We are using GitHub. So
GitHub.
what do we need
From
to
here
do?
we are controlling the version.
Correct, absolutely. So that's mean what? Like that's mean we have to click on that. See, all the options are coming. So we are going to choose this GitHub. Once we click on that, then what will happen? It will ask me to connect to GitHub either via OAuth or GitHub personal access token. So we will do that OAuth only. So connect to GitHub. It will again ask me like this way, authorize your representative, correct, an organization. So I have to authorize. Once I authorize, automatically it will come. The name, it will automatically set up over here. Okay, no issue. Then now just think what is happening. This is very vital for this environment. This section is what? This section is basically we are discussing code build. Correct? Code build means basically what happening, like your developer, just think your developer and QA already push that Git code to Git, up to Git, correct? So this dev part is done. Okay, now we are actually focusing on ops part, because dev part we already know, like you have to create some coding and you have to push to Git, so that is not new to us. But this part, this operation part is new. Now in operation means what? Like you are creating a state server where from this Git, if anything change in your particular that branch, then that code will hit in these settings what right now we are doing, correct? And it will create a virtual box for you, a server you are creating, that is you are giving a name like state server. Now you don't know anything about server, correct? So how can you build that? Don't worry, see how much simple this is. So once this server you are creating, so two things you need to do. One is, first thing, development code you have to publish after creating this server, and you have to run the code, correct? No matter that is for developer or QA, that thing you need to run. Now, for the server creation, how you need to do that? Suppose if you click on that, C is asking you which platform. So suppose you are choosing Ubuntu. Okay. Now you are choosing standard runtime. Which image? Anything, just 4. Just make it like, okay, latest version. Take the latest version, 5.0. Always use the latest image of the runtime version. That's perfectly okay. This is the role name. By default, they are giving. Leave it to that. Don't change anything. Now, see, this is very vital part again. This is the most vital thing. Without this, CI/CD or DevOps is nothing. Means if you don't give this file called build spec, spec YML. So this file you have to create. Okay. Apart from your code, this file you have to create. Why is that? Because server don't know, system don't know what are those things server need to install to run your code. Correct? Means what? Means basically just think like this way. In Cypress, if you need to run the Cypress, tell me what are those things you need to install?
We will say npm. I mean, sorry, Visual Studio. Then we have to install
JS,
the node module
JS, JavaScript,
and
and
from the very starting, Visual Studio Lite. Then we install this node module
and
npm.
also we need to
JS.
install Cypress also.
npm image.
Visual Studio is a software, correct? Instead of Visual Studio, you can do your code in any platform. That's not an issue. JavaScript is a JavaScript. You don't need to install. That is already there. But what you need to install? You
Node.
need to install first Node.js.
Node.js. Yeah.
Once Node.js is done, then you need to install Cypress package itself.
Cypress package.
Yeah.
Then you need to install whatever the plugins you used,
Plugins.
npm packages.
Yeah.
Correct? That you need to install. Now, this thing need to install to run this Cypress code. How this server, means whatever the server I'm creating, how they will know? They will don't know, correct? So those line of code we are going to write over here in this build spec.
So this build spec also we are creating this file in like in our case in Cypress, right? Both.
Yes, where basically your package.json, Cypress.json, those files
Yes.
are there.
Yes.
We will create a file buildspec.yml. So
Okay.
over there are some format because YML, this is a file structure.
Yes.
Okay, like tab-based file structure, like this way, tab-based.
Okay.
Okay, so what we need to do?
Still the YML file means. I mean, what is YAML?
YML is another type of file structure. Like you are right now doing JS, that is JavaScript.
JavaScript. Yes.
Another structure. Like JSON, you have another structure. So YML is another structure. So difference between YAML and JSON is basically JSON is used like curly brackets.
This one.
It's basically used tab, only tab space. Okay. Now over
Here we have used YAML files for tab, like tab structure.
yes, in a tab structure. I will show. Don't worry. I will show that. Okay. Now just think. There is basically 3 kind of installation is there. One is pre-install. One is post-install. Another one is install. Okay. Means in pre-install, you can easily install this Node.js. Then you can install this Cypress. Then you can install this, what's the name? Those npm libraries, correct?
Yeah.
At the time of install, then you can easily run like npx, run Cypress, then your those file name configuration file, that this thing you can run easily from the CLI.
Mm.
And in post, if you are having like any reports kind of part, so those we already saw, correct? Like npm run post test we created previously.
Yes.
For, so this report part you can run from this post. So basically here you are installing the dependencies. Here you are basically installing, means basically you are running your code, and here you are basically generating your reports.
Reports.
Okay. And last, the artifacts. This is the last part, means 1, 2, 3, and 4 artifacts. Artifacts means all your HTML or JSON1 reports. Okay, you are basically storing to one S3 bucket. Okay, that I am not showing today. That is totally out of scope. Then we need a deep dive in the DevOps. DevOps is not so easy, like you will understand everything, but this is where you are actually just starting the DevOps, like how CI/CD is actually working, the automation. Okay. So now, if I am going to another, okay, let me close this one. AWS build spec for Python. So let's go to example. See, now here you can see, correct? See, this is the version name they are giving. Then they are set upping some environment. So in our case, environment is not required. We already mentioned like how many phases are there. Few phases are there, like install, pre-build, build, post-build, 4. So this is the my phases. Like in artillery, you guys actually did that tab based, correct? Because that is totally also YML based. So what they are doing here, basically they are installing, updating the Ubuntu and installing the Maven, correct? So in that case, instead of that, you are basically doing like you are installing Node, then you are installing basically your Cypress, correct? Now in pre-build, in pre-build is you basically, if anything is there, it's okay. Otherwise, no need to do anything. Now directly you can run over here like npx run, then your that specification file dash config. So like this way, because here you can't run the test runner. Here you can't. So you basically need a headless browser that we already saw, directly from code how you can run. So this thing you need to do over here. You can't run test runner because in Ubuntu, okay, Ubuntu CLI or Amazon Linux, there is no GUI. That is totally CLI based. Correct? So that's why you are basically running your code through this npx run directly. Okay. Once this is done, okay, let me close this one first. Then we actually not required this reports part, so that's okay. We will leave that this part. We will not going to use. But see, this artifacts part is there. This is what I'm saying. Like you need to store your HTML part in this part. And trust me, this is like just like a one-time job. Means if you need to do RNG, this YML file, it's buildspec.yml. No need to worry, you are not will be there. Your developers also be there with you. Okay, why? Because their code, not only your code is only dependent on Cypress, but their code is also dependent on multiple modules. So they need to install that part also. Correct? Now just think, you remember like whenever I shared this GitHub code, I never shared with you that node modules. So what you did after download, you actually run that code through like npm space I. So all the dependency is automatically installed. So just think, if this is the server where you are uploading your code, and over there also like at the time of over here, like in this install phase, if you are writing what like npm space I, so then what will happen? All your dependency is going to install. You no need to install manually one by one. Correct? Now just think, if your package.json and the developer package.json is same, so no matter who is creating this build spec file, you or the developer, anyone can create, but it will work the same way only. Just need your help. So just think, like if developers is actually develop something, you need to create as a CI/CD developer. You also can put that. Correct? So this file, so basically this file, we are just choosing like, yes, use a build spec file means it will search in your that GitHub code, whatever is coming towards here in AWS. Over there, any build spec files present or not. Okay. If it's present, it will start creating your server. Got that? So once this is done, obviously see these artifacts, as I already mentioned, you can store in S3. Now S3 means in where? Obviously those are bucket. S3 means basically bucket, like a storage device. Now there you can have multiple buckets for different projects. So you have to create a separate bucket for your project only. So over there you are actually storing those parts. And that's all, nothing else. Then you have to create build project. Okay, so I'm just showing one example. Okay, don't see that. See, this is my source example. So if I click on that, so it's saying it's incorrect because I disconnect with the GitHub. I disconnected. Okay, so it's actually connected to the GitHub account. This is the official one, so that's why I'm not showing anymore. I'm returning back. That's okay. Leave that part. So basically, that's the connection. So see, this is the source I created. Correct? Like we just saw source how we are connecting. So this is the source we connected. Then automatically we actually created to the build. Now source is there till there, but I remove this build spec.yml file. That's why this build is failed. You can see, correct? Then the deployment, again, like you guys, I already mentioned, like your report you need to deploy in the S3 bucket so that anyone can use. So see, deployment is basically over here in the S3. Correct? Now, if you need to see how I actually created my spec file, let's see if it's there or not. You can see in artifacts I wrote build, then do to star like this way. So this is what, like I'm changing the folder. Correct? So this is where I'm basically mentioning where I need to store, the files. This is simple. Okay, don't worry, until unless you are doing by your hand something, it's very difficult. Otherwise this is not like super duper complex thing. Let me see, I can find that file or not. No, this is not there. That I deleted somehow. That's okay. That's okay. No issue. Means you got that point, correct? Like this buildspec.yml file I created, otherwise this file is not working. Now I deleted that file, so that's why the code build is actually stopped. Okay. Otherwise it will work. Now, if you need to see like how many times it's actually worked previously successfully, see, every time anything they like our developers is pushed, anything they pushed through this webhook with the GitHub, it's automatically tried every time, but it's failed. See, every time is failed. Why? Because I cross that connection. Otherwise, it will incur the cost. So when I require, again, I will put that buildspec.yml. So automatically this flow, this pipeline will start.
Sir,
Else,
this is the I didn't understand this thing. Like where how whatever the developer changes in the code and push the code to development to GitHub, then from there automatically bring the code spec file and try to build. And
means basically just think like this way. Developer develop something, they put to Git. Okay,
GitHub
in that there is some repo. Under that repo, some branch is there.
branch, yes.
Now, if in that branch of that code, if anything changed, any line changed or updated, so that's why you created that connection with your GitHub, correct? It's asking you what is your source. So you connected. So now AWS is actually continuously watching in this branch, anything is changed or not. If anything changed, automatically it started this build step, like this code build step. Automatically start.
Automatically, like after changes, it started automatically changed. Started the build.
Absolutely. Now what is happened? In runtime, every time they will create one server. Every time they will create a server and they will install all the dependencies. Through npm I. Okay. Once this is done, this server is no more. Server is automatically deleted.
Sir, we have to install this npm high manually, or like it automatically install.
There is no manual thing. That's why you are creating buildspec.yml.
Because they means you
Okay.
said na, they build the server every time. So they means who the DevOps who are working.
They means they is basically X. X means there is nothing. No one. This is no one. They means X. Means no one, because you are creating an automation.
Automation, right?
You are
Okay.
reducing the manpower. That's why you are building DevOps. So there is no one. So automatically this configuration only from this branch, this code build will pick up, because at the time of code build configuration, we saw we are choosing source and we are choosing build spec, correct? Build spec YML file.
.ym.
In this build spec YML file, these codes are written, install what we need to install. So no one is actually required. Automatically, this code build will check the code from this build spec file and it will create automatically the server and it will deploy.
Why we using the YAML file? Like why we can't use only JS file or something like that?
Because this is a long history, because AWS actually worked on this YAML file. Okay, so okay, let me tell
Full
you the
form
story.
of YAML.
Previously, there is another part that is called infrastructure as a code. Okay, this is another. It's called IaaS. Like we are using SaaS, SaaS product. So
Yes.
there is another term that is called infrastructure as a SaaS or infrastructure as a service. Another part is there that is called PaaS, that is platform as a service. So
Yes.
in these two parts, so there is one software called ANSI, Ansible. Sorry, Ansible. So this Ansible is actually work on YML structure. So this YML structure, AWS actually inherited in their one service called Cloud Formation. So by using code, what is this? By using code, you can build a server. Okay,
Okay.
by using code only. What code? Like right now we are using or writing that YML code. So this cloud formation is part of this thing, IaaS and platform as a service. So now from this cloud formation, this code build is inherited, because in the code build behind this cloud formation is actually working. And in the cloud formation behind this Ansible is basically working. So that's why the origin of the structure of the code is YAML. Okay,
Full form.
that I don't know. I have to search. Trust me, I don't know. YAML full form. See, this is the full form. Yet another markup language.
But it is not a markup language, it is saying.
Yeah, but this is not a markup language actually, because see, this is very like very nearby to JSON. If I search na YML versus JSON, acha, let's see JSON to YML converter online. Okay, so let's see how it's look like. So you know this is JSON, correct?
Yes.
So this is basic JSON structure like this, see, and this is the arrays.
Mhm.
Now, if I need to convert this JSON structure to this array, see here how it's converted. The symbols are not there. This says second bracket, third bracket, these symbols are not here. But this is simple. Under JSON, give the two value, it will automatically detect it is array. Again, two value, detect it will be automatically array. Key and value, just mention like this way. Okay. If you are individual, if that is like inner object, so just give like two value by colon and use this dash, small dash. So this is my JSON structure. This is my YML structure. That's all, nothing. It's just a format, nothing else. Okay, but that's okay. Don't focus on this part because this is the main part. Okay, so now what is happening? Through pipeline, you are creating the whole pipeline. Through code build, you are basically building your code or install your code in the server through the GitHub. Okay. From deploy, you are basically running your application. Okay. You are running your application and storing in the S3 bucket those application repo. Now you can ask me one question easily. So that's mean there is one step of source, another step of build, another step of deploy, correct? Apart from that, there is no other steps.
Yes.
You can ask.
Yes.
Now just think, when you are building, you can deploy to the production, you can deploy to the stage. Maybe you have another stage that is called development stage, production, free server. Then how you will do that? Very easy. Just go to edit. See, here it is asking at stage. you can add multiple states. Suppose if I give the one name like prod,
Like how?
now it's asking me. Now it's asking me in that prod, sorry. Oh, seriously, spelling prod. Now you're asking me to add an action group. Means which action you need to do. Suppose I need to do like XYZ action. Action provider is this many. See, manual approval means if I choose manual approval, okay, let me choose. Here, like other things are there like SNS, SQS, ACS, like a notification will send to you via either email or SMS. One notification it will come. Means think like this way. If I am asking, you guys are developer, do your job up to development or stage. Okay. If something is coming to prod without my approval, do not push anything. How will take that approval? So this is the way you have to take the approval. So I am not going in details this SNS part and ACS part, that is totally, you know, cloud services. Okay, that's a totally different topic. But apart from that, you can create another code build. Okay, see, we just mentioned the cloud formation, we just discussed. So this cloud formation you can also do. You can add Jenkins as well. If you have Jenkins server, you can add your server URL. That you can also mention. Okay, but why? Okay, this is another part. So this is the way you can attach multiple, you know, stages. Now let me tell you another story. Why I am not focused on Jenkins. Rather, I am saying go for AWS. Jenkins is free or not? Tell me, anyone.
Sorry, paid.
Free it is.
Jenkins is paid. Paid.
I think yes, Jenkins is paid.
Oh, I
Then we
don't.
have to create account. Then
So Jenkins has two scenarios. One is free, another one is paid. Okay.
the official use is paid.
Yeah, absolutely. But you can download Jenkins.
Yeah.
But where you will download? In your local machine. That is not your production, correct?
No.
So if something is coming like production, then obviously you will use the paid service.
Yes.
Or what you will do, you will download the free server, this free one, and you will actually create your own server that is called EC2. That you heard that name, correct? AWS EC2. You will create your own server.
EC2 don't know.
Means this is one service where you can create your own server. So now again, once you upload this free Jenkins only, like this free Jenkins, once you upload it in EC2, now EC2 have some cost.
Yes.
If
So
I
no
create my
matter
own
what-
server, then it will cost.
yeah, means if you are creating your own server in any cloud provider, obviously that's mean you are creating a machine, correct? Like some bit of RAM, some bit of CPU, some storage space. Obviously they will cost
Yes.
you. Now AWS, okay. Now obviously from the beginning, Jenkins paid service is not free. But why I choose AWS? Because AWS saying first 1 year is free.
Oh,
1 year is free for EC2. If you are
something free.
if you are choosing T2 micro instance type, like how much RAM, how much CPU it will have. So based on that, they created multiple instance types. So this is one instance type. That's okay. That's not an issue. But ultimatum thing is, no matter you are using Jenkins or AWS, you have to pay at the very end. Correct?
Why?
Because they are giving service, correct? You don't want free service because that is maybe shareable service. So you are sharing, someone else is sharing. So your code is no more secure. So for production company always use paid services. So now just think in a different way. What we are doing, we are not went to EC2, correct? We not went to Jenkins, correct? Rather, we directly went to AWS code pipeline. Why? Because they are saying, okay, now check. Let me remove this one. AWS code pipeline pricing.
$1.
See,
Cost $1 active pipeline per month.
let's see over here. With the AWS code pipeline, there are no upfront fees or commitments. You pay only for what you use, like pay as you go. AWS code pipeline costs $1 per active pipeline per month. To encourage experimentation, pipelines are free for the 30 days after creation. So an active pipeline, a pipeline that is existed for more than 30 days. That's why I said that thing. Create, try, then delete that. It will not going to cost anything, zero. Okay, now think, if you are implementing through Jenkins, okay, Jenkins is a very good product. I'm not giving like any negative or something. Very good product, but it will ask you some money each and every month. But this one, if you are not using, there is no money. If you are using, whatever the things you are using, based on that only they will calculate the money. If in a single month there is no deployment, you are not creating any pipeline, so that's mean there is no cost.
Okay.
If anything is happening in that pipeline, then only the cost it will be there.
That is why we are adding previously our credit card.
That's why they are asking you to add your credit card. Because it can happen, right? Like you used, then you actually deactivated your account. They are not asking you any money, but you can do that. So what is the trust factor? Like win-win. So they are giving you free. How they will trust you? So you are giving your credit card. So you both are basically handshaking. Correct? And today is friendship day. So obviously you can implement that one with credit card.
Sir, can we use your?
Ah. Okay, so I'm returning back to here. So like this way you can add multiple step or stage. Okay, so this is not something totally depends on like source, build, deploy or prod. Okay, you can add multiple stage. Now last part is, you can see this notify is there.
Yes.
So create notification rule. So if I click on that, see action execution, when anything is action is happening, like success, failed, cancel, start, stage, pipeline, manual. So in this 4 stage, this many steps are there. So if you choose select all, now you are that person, you created this flow and you are just watching everything is happening. You just open your mobile and you are seeing these notifications are coming, like pass, fail, succeeded, needed approval, everything is coming towards you. So this is the flavor of CI/CD. And whatever the code you are building through Cypress, using this build spec file, you can easily implement through DevOps or CI/CD. Over there, you can easily run your code. And this is the course you guys are basically asking last day, so that I can create the full, hands-on session. Now just think, why I said not now, after 2 months or like that. Just see how many new things we discussed, how many new services of AWS we discussed today. lots of services, correct?
Yes.
So until and unless I'm giving those idea to you, if I'm directly starting DevOps or CI/CD, that is totally useless. You can see like how things are easy to create. But when you will create, you will not going to understand. And if you are not going to understand, obviously bill will occur. No matter your personal or official one, the bill will come. So that's why I said that will be a total separate course for DevOps and CI/CD. This is not like one day or something you did that. But yes, if someone is building DevOps on behalf of you for the time being, okay, you can ask, you can check, okay, if someone is building.
Yeah, right now we cannot implement this.
That I will discuss separately, not here.
Okay.
Okay. So this is all about the CI/CD. Any question till now, Shangita, Shogata, Vishaka?
So, but the thing is, this thing
Yeah.
is very complex. Like in
Till the time we don't implement it, we
yes,
will not be able to understand clearly.
Actually, it's look complex, but trust me, it's very easy, very easy. Why is look complex? Because you don't know multiple services, cloud services.
Yes.
Because when I'm saying S3, what is S3? I'm saying EC2. Partially you heard that name, but you don't know
yes,
what is.
Yes.
So until unless you are doing that one, it is that look like difficult, but this is very easy. Okay, so I'm stopping recording.
Okay.